Cartolucci does a lot of investigative reporting, and he's got a story on Infowars.com. Organ harvesting in Ukraine goes unreported. Children abducted and flown to America to have their organs removed. I used to look into this about 15 years ago and didn't even believe it, but it turns out in any war zone this goes on. Iraq, Israel. Look at what ended up happening in Egypt, China. It's pretty sick. Remember a few years ago, Israel got real mad when a doctor said that was going on. It was in Europe, and then it turned out it was true. I mean, it's just incredibly evil that this stuff goes on. That's a story on Infowars.com. Vials of smallpox virus found in unapproved Maryland lab. Autonomous Mercedes-Benz semi debuts on Autobahn. I'm going to get to all that and a bunch of other important news. And a Zero Hedge article that's up on Infowars.com. Is the Fed going to attempt a controlled collapse? The Fed could be preparing to do exactly what it said it wouldn't. That's what this is a controlled collapse, a slow motion one. That's what I've been saying since 2008. And most of our other analysts concur with that analysis, so that's all coming up. But I do want to spend at least 10 minutes later in the next hour. We're going to talk to Jakari Jackson, this segment and the next, from Marietta, California, reporting live on TV and radio right now. I want to spend about 10 minutes looking at what Obama's done and comparing it to Nixon. So that's coming up. Jakari Jackson reporting from Marietta, California. I know you've got a lot of breaking news. Give us your take on what you've been witnessing down there.
Yeah, this is Jakari Jackson, Infowars.com, Marietta, California. And we are once again outside the Border Patrol station. And I want to point out to you, Alex, that the Border Patrol station fence has a better fence than the fence down on the actual border. You can see it's a nice, complete fence, goes all the way around the structure. But it's not anything like this if you actually go down to the border, whether it's in California or any place else. So we've been out here for the past couple of days documenting, talking to various residents. We've been talking to people who say that, this is not a racial issue at all, even though they try to spin it that way in the media. We've talked to people of Mexican, Native American descent. We also talked to people who came here legally through the naturalization process. A young lady we had a chance to talk to yesterday, and she said it took her 15 years and several $1,000s, but she did it the legal, lawful way. And these are the stories that they don't want you to hear, because when you see somebody like that, they say, well, wow, you can go through the naturalization process. It may not be the greatest thing in the world, but, you do it the legal way, you can get here. But they don't want to show stories like that. They just want to show you the pictures of the kids coming in on the buses. And, of course, everybody's heart bleeds for these kids. But, people have their own kids they have to take care of. They can't pay through tax dollars to raise somebody else's kid, And we think about all the children being sent here. If you did something like this, Alex, if you sent your kids to El Salvador on a Greyhound bus, you'd probably have the CPS come knocking at your door.
Oh, there's no probably. I would be arrested for child endangerment and should. I mean, this is crazy town level. And again, it sets the precedent that there is no law. The executive branch can decide where to even send the kids. And they're deciding to dump them on Texas.
Oh, yeah. Texas, California, wherever else. Like, I think Biggs had a very good idea. All these politicians who are out here saying that we need to have these kids come in, why don't we send them to their house? Send them to the White House, send them to Pelosi's house, send them to whoever's house. They're saying, we want to take care of the kids. You take care of the kids. You go out there, you feed them, you clothe them, you make sure, they go to school, they brush their teeth. You do all that stuff and let these people here take care of their own families.
Jakari, I want you to ask the locals and the police and others, what do they think is going to happen if all these people get legalized, as 99% are, according to the ICE memo? It's going to mean a much bigger wave. How big do they think that wave is going to be? Because undoubtedly, Jakari, this is the next big wave from the last wave. I believe they're going to get exponentially bigger.
This is Leanne McAdoo for InfoWarsLife.com. I'm here with Dr. Edward Group, Master Herbologist and Chief Formulator behind the InfoWars Life products. Dr. Group, what have you been hearing from women who've started taking Super Female Vitality?
We've heard the reviews and feedback from Super Male Vitality, from emails to even excited callers on the radio. Now, the answer for women is here. A new formulation specifically designed for the female body, Super Female Vitality, delivers 10 key herbs jobs that work synergistically to revitalize the unique biology of women.
I'm so glad that you guys made this for women. When he brought me home the bottle of Super Female, I had tons of energy, tons of motivation, a lot of drive. My husband thinks I've been in a better mood. Our relationship, all I can say is it's a lot better now.
I've just started taking Super Female Vitality from InfoWarsLife.com. Supplies are limited, so secure yours today at InfoWarsLife.com, InfoWarsStore.com, or dial 1-888-253-3139.
This is Jakari Jackson reporting for Infowars.com. We're in Marietta, California, myself and the rest of the Infowars crew. And the interesting thing is this is about, I guess, 80 to 100 miles above the border. So you have this facility here, but they're not even so much checking for illegal immigration. They're bringing the illegal immigrants here to be processed. And we've been out here all day. And the whole time we've been out here, we've encountered one person who is pro-amnesty, a sweet little old lady who was just, I guess slightly misguided. So we'll show you what she had to say earlier today. Then we'll go over here and talk to these people who are against their country being overrun and their tax dollars spent housing illegal immigrants.
We have, what's your name?
Georgia Johnson.
All right, and tell me why it is you're out here. What are you out here in support of?
I'm in support of treating the people that are coming across the border from the horrible situations that they're coming from. I think we should treat them humanely, treat them like the human beings that they are, and show them that our country has compassion.
All right, sir, are you a resident of this county?
I am, city of Marietta, county of Riverside, yes.
No, I'm actually from Oceanside.
Okay, and how far is that?
Probably about an hour and a half away.
Hour and a half away. What's the biggest crowd you've seen out here so far?
Probably 200 to 250 anti-Obama illegal immigration.
Right.
Yeah, and then maybe 45 or 50 pro.
But we still have people in America who aren't getting taken care of. Vets are homeless. They don't get a place to stay. We're turning these military bases into holding facilities for these children. And I understand, you want to help the kids, that's fine. But at the same time, we have people here in America that need help. Imagine getting on a boat that says you can only hold 10 people and then you put 20 on there. What's going to happen? It's going to sink.
No, this country is the wealthiest country in the world. There's no reason for us to let anybody sink.
So what do you think about the Secretary of Homeland Security, Jay Johnson, saying that the people like you who have your viewpoint are pretty much a minority in this community?
I believe he's completely wrong. I mean, Jay Johnson can't even answer questions. I think he should be more focused on being able to answer reporters' questions than what other Americans' viewpoints are.
Yeah, he's completely out of touch. He's in Washington, D.C., probably behind a real high fence with security guards, and doesn't associate with a common man like me or the residents here in the city of Marietta. It's absolutely ridiculous. I mean, it's evident what he says doesn't match what's going on.
But there's a right way and there's a wrong way to go about the immigration process. You don't think this is wrong in any way? There's a lot of people who spend money, who take the tests to go through that process. And, you've got to understand that side of you as well, though. It's kind of a spit in the face of them if they're going through the process the right way. Meanwhile, these kids get shipped over and they're just given everything right off the bat. Like I said, there's veterans who don't get health care at all whatsoever, but these kids are being given everything.
What are they being given?
What are the kids being given? Shelter, food, amnesty. They're being dropped off in different places. I mean, they're as far as New York now.
Amnesty? They have to report to a court. They have to have...
90% of them don't even show up, and this is recorded by the courts.
I have not heard that.
My wife actually just came across from Singapore. She's a quadriplegic. She has a broken neck. She just became a legal migrant actually a week ago, and she's completely outraged. She can't believe this is happening.
All right, miss, can you tell me what your name is and what brought you out here today?
My name is Rina Rahman, and what brought me out here was actually the whole thing with the amnesty for illegal immigrants.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm an immigrant. I just became a U.S. citizen about a week and a half ago. And I don't have any problems with immigration, except that if it's illegal, I don't think that we should be supporting it. So that's my main beef. I mean, it took me about 15 years to become a citizen, but I did it the legal way.
Yes.
And a lot of money, too. So why are we doing this for people who are already breaking the law?
Mm-hmm.
And why is the administration actually encouraging this?
And there's going to probably be some fireworks tonight or tomorrow because the sheriff has said that not just Homeland Security, the Department of Insecurity, the Department of Illegal Immigrant Importation has said anybody who tries to block these buses, busing these illegals in, where they're then released and dumped off, will be arrested. And the folks are looking forward to that. This is just pure madness. Then we've got a guest coming up dealing with the fact that in Canada and in Ireland and in all over the place, they're finding giant caches of dead Native American babies, dead Irish babies. And this is in AFP, it's in RT, it's in some of the Canadian papers, but not getting a lot of attention. I interviewed the guest that's coming up probably 6-7 years ago before this even broke in the news, and they were exposing it. Now they just like dug into a tunnel, literally and figuratively, and just found catacombs, basically. And the kids are being deliberately killed. And you notice it's white kids, it's Native kids, it's children. You're 7 to 8 times more likely to be abused in the foster care system worldwide. It's the same number in Russia as the U.S. You can look up the Justice Department's own numbers. They've had the Time magazine did a report that told the truth. I couldn't believe it, called The Shame of Foster Care. But their solution was giving more money to it, which then, I mean, that's putting fire on a fire. It's putting logs on a fire, gasoline on a fire, fuel on a fire. The system is fundamentally infested with mercenaries, people that don't care, and perverts. It's the only place you can go to really abuse children and get away with it long term. Every major child system, from the state of Texas and its commission they've founded to try to cover it up, the Texas Youth Commission and all of its corruption, to just anywhere you look, it's hell level. And nobody's going to cry for those kids when they're having radiation tested on them, or pesticides, or just being strangled, or being snuffed in a snuff film, or being gutted for their organs when they're taken into the facility and put under and then have all their organs taken. And that's in the news today as well. We'll be talking about that at the bottom of the hour. Because Americans and others only get upset when the media says, get upset for these poor Latin American babies who happen to be 14 or almost voting age. It's for the children. Let them all in. But if it's a Ukrainian child being taken to have their organs harvested by NATO, who runs most of the narcotics and white slavery out of Europe, with the UN, they've been caught literally hundreds of times, nobody's going to care. And nobody's going to care when they grab your kid out of the backyard and take him for harvesting either. Because Homeland Security runs the whole show worldwide. They're going to make sure that good people who are compartmentalized can never help your daughter or son, because the whole system's built so the evil ones have omnipresent surveillance to carry out total crime, because they like to do it, and they're going to do it. And you're going to thank them, because you want to end up like those 53 million babies that were aborted. Because subconsciously, you know you committed a crime. All of us committed a crime against humanity. And so you want to be hurt. And you're going to be hurt. You're going to be torn limb from limb like those children. You're going to be chopped up and thrown in a dumpster. Collectively. Very slowly, though. Much more painfully. And no one's going to come to your aid, and no one's going to say you're human. Let's go back to Jakari Jackson. Jakari Jackson, you're there on the border in Marietta. Give us the waterfront, what you've witnessed in the 2 days you've been there.
Yes, we've been here for a few days. We've talked about the people, the reports you just played, but we have some potentially breaking news, Alex. We were just told by some of the people out here, the protesters, that the police are now asking the property owners of this, I guess this facility over here, to move the people off of the property line. So you can see the people packing up a little bit over here to the far side. And so I guess they just don't want the people here. And that's one of the gentlemen just came over to us and said, one of the protesters, he said, we're not exactly sure where the property line is. So we'll work to try to figure that out as it
Yeah, it's total bull. Obviously, there's right of way always under state and federal law. I would imagine it's probably 10 feet, and you can probably see where that company's fence is. Who is it again?
I can't see the name of the company from where we are at the moment, but the whole time we've been here, we've seen police driving in and out. I seriously doubt we can hit on the iPhone, but I can see a patrol unit down there, probably some type of SUV, and some officers chatting down there, and maybe those are the guys who.
Well, let's walk over there. Let's walk over there. And I mean, is that a warehouse or what is that?
I think that is some type of warehouse or processing facility. They have a lot of those material trailers out here.
Well, what they've done is they've put orange cones up around the right-of-way and around the area you could use. So it's all just more playing games. Next, they'll tell everybody to move off the other side if people put up with that. We had the police in Virginia tell us we couldn't be on the sidewalk in front of Bilderberg, they'd arrest us. And I just said, go ahead and arrest me.
Yeah. Well, we got some cars coming, but I want to show, we'll try to get down here in 1 second once these cars pass. Well, there's some yellow barricades down this way, and those weren't there yesterday. So we'll try to show all that here in just 1 second.
Well, yeah, I mean, they want to commit their crimes, shipping in all these illegals to be put directly on the Democratic Party's giant floppy trough.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is just unbelievable. I think Hillary Clinton ought to go down there herself and literally suckle all the children.
Right. So, Alex, the first day we came down here, there was a news van and some other people down here, but I want to show, as we approach up here, the yellow barricades down here. These weren't here yesterday.
Hey, Jakari, let me ask you a question on the side issue before you get down there.
Yeah.
Been doing a great job, by the way. That report we just aired was very powerful. It's up on Infowars.com. We're 20-1 demonstrators against the open borders versus one pro-illegal person. Just amazing. If you'd watch the media, you would think it was the opposite. Right. But does Michelle Obama look normal to you?
I haven't seen her lately. Was there some new photo or a video of her?
Well, did you hear about Joan Rivers saying that she thinks she's a transvestite?
Oh, I've heard that. I'm not really one. I don't want to find out either. I don't want to do it. Don't send me to the White House on that one, Alex. I'll sit that one out. But,
you don't want to investigate Michael Obama?
I'll pass on that. That's
what about Bradley Manning? What's Bradley Manning's new name?
Chelsea.
Chelsea.
Yeah, and that was quite a shock to me. But yeah, I don't want to.
I think Chelsea's actually pretty good looking. Can we put Chelsea up on screen? No. I'm going to stop joking right there. Hey, seriously, Jakari. Yeah. We figured out who Michelle really is.
Oh,
it's
who is she?
Merman from the Legion of Doom.
Wow. You do that, what's that guy's name? The intro guy, the narrator for Super Friends?
You know, no one's heard me do my Ted Knight voice.
Yeah. Come on, give us one. Give us one.
Aquaman summoned 3 giant whales. Meanwhile, at the Hall of Justice, the Super Friends were meeting with Spider-Man, Batman, and Aquaman. All right. and that's why I am an authority. It's her.
Yes.
There it is, Michelle Obama. Oh, my gosh. Oh, it's from He-Man. Merman is from He-Man. I'm totally wrong.
Yeah, and Spider-Man's not in the DC universe. Well, I'll let that one slide, Alex. But is that the interview where Joan Rivers walked out of CNN? I saw that headline somewhere.
Yeah. Well, no. Now being interviewed about that, she walked out.
Okay.
Of course, I think Joan Rivers may be a robot.
Well, she does look like she had a few augmentations over the years.
You know, the reason I say Merman from the He-Man, Castle of Grayskull, Eye of the Power universe looks like Michelle, and I conflated it with, there's a bad guy at the Legion of Doom as
He's
well.
Black Manta?
Yeah,
He's
Black Manta.
Yeah.
But I got to say, Merman looks just like her.
Oh, maybe. Well, Black Manta wears the helmet, so you can't really see what he looks like. But maybe Merman. It's been a while since I've seen He-Man. I'll have to check that out when we get back to the hotel.
Can you say by the power of Grayskull?
By the power of Grayskull.
Listen, that's
Joan
a good
Rivers
voice.
Walks out of the CNN interview.
Man, Jakar, your voice sounds good.
Oh, thank you.
Can you say this is CNN?
This is CNN. Well, you do, James, better than I do.
This is CNN. Closed caption. But my voice is so shot now, I can't even. I used to do it perfectly.
Well, everybody likes saying like Starscream and Cobra Commander.
What do you mean?
I can't. It's hard for me to hear a voice and mimic. Because people ask me all the time to do your voice.
Oh dear.
And I can't do a good Alex Jones impression. I sound like I just smoked like 20 packs of cigarettes.
Anyways, Shikari. No, it's true. I smoke 20 packs of cigarettes. I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm joking.
No, you don't smoke. You blew out your voice yelling. That's how Alex lost his voice. Because we were watching that while you were on vacation. We were running all those retrospectives. And we were like, man, Alex sounds like a completely different person. But that was before years of which one of you is the federal informant? Which one of you is the federal informant? And all the great stuff.
Hey, I think a cop's coming up behind you.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't want to step in the street, but maybe I can grab his attention.
Hold on. Skip the network break. Skip the network break. I apologize, folks, for being too lighthearted.
I'm a citizen in distress here. Let me see if I can get this guy's attention.
Yeah, ask him if he's going to investigate.
Officer. Hello, sir. Sir, or miss. I'm sorry, miss. I didn't mean to be rude. We heard reports that you're asking the people to step off the property. Is that true?
I can't give any information right now. I got to go work on some other stuff. But,
okay. Well, if I can ask you an unrelated question to this, what kind of firearms do you have in there? Those are some pretty sweet. Show those.
I have a rifle and a shotgun.
Rifle. Yeah. Those are pretty sweet, pretty tactical. You get a good shot of that. Okay. So,
all right, sir. I'll be back in a little bit.
Okay. Now, let me. Do you have any concerns about the people out here? Are you going to bring any riot police or any people to try to control the crowds if there's another crowd blocking the streets?
I can't answer that question, but you can contact our Lieutenant John Flavin. He's our PIO, and you can ask him that question.
Okay, thank you, miss.
You're welcome.
All right, the police here are so nice. It's not like some places I've been and you got to fight with everybody.
Well, Jakari, you also come off as the All-American.
Oh yeah,
that's why everybody's nice to you.
Oh yeah. Well, they're probably not nice to you because you yell at them now.
You're going to be the new star of Leave It to Beaver.
Yeah. Well, this is pretty much the thing. Like we asked her, if it was true that they're asking the people to step off the property, like we haven't had a chance to, get over to where the main people are and talk to them personally. But we do see in the distance people kind of packing up and moving off, I guess, the property line. Possibly, we haven't had a chance to really look into that because we've been live on air.
Meanwhile, Aquaman battles the serpent.
I like, Aquaman's kind of coming up in the years, but. He's still one of the weirdest superheroes out there, I guess.
I can't do it as good as Ted Knight, though. Yeah, that's the guy from Caddyshack. He also does the voice on there.
Is that Spalding? Is that the same guy or is that a different guy?
Meanwhile, Lex Luthor in his underground base.
Yeah.
All right. A little bit of comic relief. I don't know why I'm being so catty and goofy today. I apologize. Getting serious here, and I'm about to get serious, yeah. Shikari. Anything else you'd like to add reporting from Southern California?
We're expecting to see the big crowds, or at least the crew is. I have to get back tomorrow on the plane because I have some family coming into town, but we'll have...
So you have your long-scheduled vacation.
Well, that's not my official vacation. My dad's coming in town for a family reunion, and so he has to get there and meet him. But my actual vacation will be later on this month, and I am very much looking forward to that.
But you didn't tell me you don't know where you're going yet.
Oh, well, I think I'm going to do a staycation. So, I'll be in and around the Texas area, maybe go visit my my siblings in that D city I'm not exactly fond of, but I love the people there, just not too fond of the city, and do some other things as well.
Oh, so my gosh, you're going to be vacationing in Dallas.
No. I didn't say
that is classic. Oh, my.
I didn't say I was vacationing. I said I would go visit.
Jakari really doesn't like Dallas, folks.
I'm sure many fine people there. It's just not exactly for me.
I hear you.
Yeah, you're from Dallas. You got in fights all the time in Dallas. You know what's going on down there.
Yes, it was totally different than Austin.
How many fights was it you got into in Dallas, Alex?
None.
No.
It's all lies, Jakari.
No, Alex.
I had a completely uneventful life. In fact, this radio show is not happening.
Like this morning? What are you talking about uneventful?
Nothing is. Actually, today's been pretty eventful. But nothing is going on. There's nothing to see here. These aren't the droids you're looking for. Move along.
Okay, that's the story. I'm sure the mainstream will have a different spin on that, but all right.
By the way, what do you think is going to happen tonight when Lord Obama visits with the Grand Dragon of La Raza and Mecha, Robert Rodriguez?
Yeah, I heard about that. I don't know if they're going to hang out and watch Machete or what exactly the plans are. And also heard either Rick Perry invited him or Obama invited Rick Perry to have some type of meeting to talk about the situation they expect to happen in Dallas. I've heard reports they want to bring the kids up there to those abandoned schools. But, Robert Rodriguez, I used to like some of his movies back in the day, like Desperado and some of the earlier works. But recent years, he's kind of gotten away from me. But he does have a very nice studio. I saw it in a DVD commentary one time.
Yeah, well, I knew him. I mean, met him a few times and knew his wife. But when I got the bad word, I was out there at his studios. He's basically taking them over at the time. He was just in them out there at the old airport. And I was hanging out with the crew consulting on a movie. And Rodriguez's wife was out there before he divorced her to just tell this story. And yeah, you know, she goes, yeah, I've given him all the films, but he doesn't like you because you're not down with the Raza. And that was like in 2004. And I didn't know all that about him at the time. And then he just went off the deep end. And in my opinion, Mecha and La Raza are the Hispanic Ku Klux Klan. I know you talked to a lot of Hispanic folks out there that said that's how they see it, because that's what it is. It's just it's mainline supported. And he's like a kingpin of that now. I mean, he's like an El Jefe.
Wow.
And that's what he runs here in Texas. So he's kind of hanging up his directors. I mean, what I've heard from insiders is he's even talking about getting out of that, and he's just going to run Democratic Party, White House run, race-based TV shows.
Well, that would make sense why he's hanging out with Obama then, if that's what he's planning to do.
Yeah, I was told this by a director about 2 years ago, and then I was told this by an insider. I'm not going to say anymore. I mean, somebody that's like right next to him. And again, this isn't a white versus black versus Hispanic thing.
No.
We were brought by a Hispanic member of the crew who was senior. The Machete first script, and it was the script. Turned out it was the script. Rodriguez went in the paper and said it wasn't the script when Drudge and the National News picked it up. And then they cut out some of the race war stuff in it because of the protest. But really, us protesting it probably made the movie bigger. I have nothing against Robert Rodriguez. It's just that he doesn't like me because I'm white. And I happen to know the guy is like a crazy racist.
Alex, I wouldn't let that bother you. Well, I know you got bigger fish to fry.
But I mean, the guy's made hundreds of millions of dollars in America. He'd get kidnapped and killed down in Mexico. And the fact that he's dabbling with the Mexican mafia and stuff is very dangerous. But what the word I've gotten is his elevator doesn't go all the way to the top now. And, you know, money destroys a lot of people, bro. You know?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What is it? They say like 95% of people that win a lottery are either dead in jail or bankrupt in like 2 years.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. It's well, when you get that sudden money or that sudden fame, it really gets to people, whether it's, you know, people, I guess, like Rodriguez or anybody else, those lottery winners, because their whole life changes or how people view them change. And it just becomes one big downward spiral for a lot of people.
Well, Quentin Tarantino, I mean, I don't like the Nazis, but they put out that race porn, then they put out, you know, that's the one that's really serious, which is literally just meant to create false histories, exaggerate, open old wounds, in my view. And then it's so funny to Quentin Tarantino, who is, again, just into racial stuff. I mean, I like Pulp Fiction, but still, it's shocking, a lot of the stuff in it. And they almost feel dirty after you watch it. But then after that point, it just becomes race porn, is my view.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I mean, I've seen interviews with Tarantino, and he likes using, I guess, those likes to hit on those racial themes a lot. And I'm not exactly sure, you know, what brought him to that point, but race is a very big deal in pretty much all, if not most, if not all of his films. Maybe not so much in, was it Reservoir Dogs? I don't recall it too much, but
no, race isn't an issue in his good films, is my point. And then that's all he does, because Hollywood wants that. It's part of the messages you see everywhere.
Oh, yeah. They always want you to think about race because you think in the class, or I'm being oppressed, or this person's doing this to me, instead of, you know, trying to just grow and achieve in your own right. It's always this person is doing X, Y, Z to me.
They want you to only think in a group so they can have leaders that control that group. Because if everybody goes off in their own direction, it will organically be a free market of ideas, and then everybody will just come together anyways. So in the name of political correctness, it actually creates the division. And they know full well what they're doing.
Oh, yeah. You can see this all the time, because we see it in the media, you know, whether it's the movies we already mentioned or the TV shows or, you know, video games, whatever it might be. It's plenty out there.
Well, Jakari, I know you guys are going to be covering that. Thank you for going out there. I know Biggs and Kit And Owens are going to be staying out there till Friday.
Oh, well, no. Josh is already back, and Kit is going to be pulling a little bit of double duty. He's going to be doing, I guess, some part-time camera work as well as writing. So he needs.
Well, it just shows how little I know. I have no idea what's going on around here.
Well, we try to keep the trains on the track, and thus far I think we've done it so far. So I got confidence in the guys. Just Kit may need a little help on his writing duties. Maybe, I don't know.
Well, when are you going to make the jump into hyperspace?
Me? Oh, I'm not a writer. I can't.
No, I mean, when are you coming back to Austin?
When I'm getting back to Austin, I'll be leaving tonight, and I'll be back sometime late tonight, early tomorrow morning.
All right, Jakari Jackson, thank you so much for spending time with us out there from Marietta, California, site of just one area where the government has been caught, thanks to Jakari Jackson, Nadon Salazar, John Bound, and the rest of them in Texas documenting it, and thanks to DrudgeReport.com. Alex Jones here to break down some exciting developments in the area of research concerning supplemental iodine. It's nothing less than phenomenal. I began to get into iodine a few years ago because it was helping me and my family so much get healthy and detoxify. And I used some of the mainline iodine supplements and they upset my stomach and I had some issues with it. Until I discovered a product being developed by Dr. Group, who I was already interviewing as an expert on my radio show, and I began taking the product before he actually rolled it out. You now know it as Survival Shield True Nascent Iodine that your body can really absorb. Then, about a year ago, he said, listen, if you think this is powerful, I'm going to come out with rare earth, deep earth crystals that are incredibly powerful that no one else has as a source for their iodine from between 7,000 and 12,000 feet, literally drilled out of the ground. You put it on a hot plate and it turns into the pure gas. No one else has 99.99% pure iodine. And the results that I personally have had have been life-changing. I was over 270 pounds. And with the iodine, exercise, and better diet, I have lost now more than 50 pounds total, and I'm continuing to lose the weight. I have more energy, my libido, all this crap came out of my skin. I believe our research is conclusive. This is the best iodine out there. And I know this for a fact. Nobody else has got iodine based on these pure crystals, ladies and gentlemen. This is innovating. This is trailblazing. And the best part is it helps fund Infowars.com, the radio show, the TV show, the whole media operation promoting true libertarian ideas. For a limited time, experience the ancient power of Survival Shield X2. Take advantage of this unprecedented 30% off Super Detox special at InfoWarsLife.com.